Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome back to the Believe in Iowa State podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Carter.
And I'm your host, Cody Van Sealum.
Cody, it was a great day in Iowa State athletics. And this is something that we haven't been able to say for 21 years, but wrestling has beaten Iowa 20-14 and this is the first time they've won a dual meet in 21 years. Cody, take it away.
Yeah, so as we just mentioned, Iowa State for the first time since 2004, first time 21 years, the Iowa State Cyclones have beaten the Iowa Hawkeyes in the Cy-Hawk wrestling duel. They won with a final duel score of 20-14. So a couple guys to really highlight in this duel were Rocky Elam with a decision. Number two ranked Rocky Elam at 197, defeating number four from Iowa, Masoma Edeni. You also had a good performance to start the duel with heavyweight number one in the country, Younger Bastida, taking down Ben Keeter with the decision. It was almost a major decision, but Keeter got a last-second escape to keep the score deficit at a decision only. You also had Evan Frost at the 133 weight division at number six, take out number three, Drake Ayala, with a decision 11-5. You also had Anthony Echemendia put on a major decision performance, so he just dominated number seven, Nasir Bailey. Anthony Echemendia was the number six ranked 141 wrestler in the country. And then this was a very important duel and probably the best duel out of all of them. MJ Gaitan, number 11th in the country, went up against number two, Patrick Kennedy from the University of Iowa, and it was a sudden victory win for MJ Gaitan. He won 9-8 in the tiebreakers. That will put Iowa State up 17-11, and ultimately Rocky Elam was able to finish off the duel with the win we mentioned earlier, and Iowa State gets the win and is able to keep the Dan Gable Trophy home in Ames, Iowa.
What a electric match! For the people that don't know wrestling, is this that don't really or interested in wrestling or don't know wrestling? Is this a sport that you would recommend to people that are not well versed in wrestling?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say if you were in the state of Iowa, you lived and breathed wrestling. Like this is like one of those like niche sports that's like very prominent in the state of Iowa. I mean, you had two of the greatest head coaches and wrestlers in all of collegiate wrestling come out of the state of Iowa with and ironically out of Iowa State with the legendary coach Dan Gable and then the legendary wrestler and coach Cale Sanderson, both coming out of the Iowa State program. And both of those guys have done bits at their respective programs. Dan Gable for University of Iowa and for Cale Sanderson right now at Penn State. But yeah, this is definitely a sport I would recommend if you're in the Midwest. Iowans, we live and breathe wrestling and is a really entertaining kind of sport to watch. So yes, I would definitely recommend it. And if Cyhawk was your first introduction into the sport of collegiate wrestling, then what an introduction for you. So yeah, I would highly recommend watching this sport.
All right, Cody, thank you for that. And also in other ISU sports, the women's basketball team is 9-0. I believe Audie Crooks set a career high with 47 points.
Yep, that is correct. And what's funny is Audie Crooks had recently set her own like record at 43 against Val Passero, but against much better competition, and he then undefeated Indiana Hoosier squad down in Florida. Audie Crooks puts up 47 points, goes 19-25 from the field as Iowa State puts up triple digits against Indiana, wins the Coconut Hoops Championship 106-95. So really, just Audie Crooks continues to just be a dominant force in all women's basketball, and I don't think there's anybody in the country that could stop her. Even Shea Sieski, who was like going blow for blow with Audie Crooks, but ultimately Iowa State was able to pull out the 11-point win and remain undefeated on the year.
All right, and now we are in the last day of November, and we are just about, I believe, 10, 11 days out from Cyhawk. So
Yep,
it's going to
yeah,
be
that
an
is
exciting
correct.
time
Mm-hmm.
around the men's and women's basketball programs.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
All right, we're gonna bring up this. We're gonna bring up cyclones in the NFL. There's a lot of Cyclones who had a good day today in the league. There's one video that I want to show.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
oh. This is what I think it is. If this is what I think it is, then I think a lot of Iowa State fans are going to enjoy this.
I think it is what you think it is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. While you bring that up, some notable things. Brees Hall, like, yep, he's the guy that like. So I personally have him on my fantasy team, and I love Brees Hall for this. He put up 68 yards and a touchdown, also 2 receptions for 8 yards. So a solid day for him. Jaden Higgins put up 5 receptions for 65 yards. But I think, yeah, the main person everyone was talking about is our main man.
Touchdown run, Brock.
He hit, bro. It hit man. I ain't even know Brock had that type of sauce, boy.
Hey man, this is what happens when bro. Here's the thing: you got a guy from Arizona go to the Midwest, and then he's out in the Bay Area. So what do you like? What a transformation of regions for Mr. Brock Purdy. Lives in the Midwest for like 4 years, develops is a true Iowan, even has a farming goes out farming too with his wife's family, and then he's out in the Bay Area, so you know he's got to have a little bit of sauce if you're going to be in the Bay Area. And I mean, Twitter was going crazy for it. I mean, we were saying that white boy got motion. I'm like, yeah, he got motion.
He really do have motion, bro. It's crazy. I was like, okay, bro, I see you.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a cherry on top that was just a beautiful day for the San Francisco 49ers. And I mean, that was part of it because I believe like prior to today, the San Francisco 49ers had not won in Cleveland since 1984. So that's been a really long time for them. But for Brock Purdy, he put up, 16 to 29, 168 passing yards for a passing touchdown. Also had 4 yards of rushing with the rushing TD. So not too crazy, but he got the job done. And I mean, yeah, got the job done. And the San Francisco 49ers won 26-8. I think we did mention a little bit. Brees Hall, he had himself, I mentioned him. He had a pretty nice day. Jaden Higgins had a pretty solid day. So, couple of the Cyclones continue to make great production in the NFL, I'll say. And I'm telling this right now, the Texans, by no shocker, actually used a couple of Cyclones with Jaden Higgins and Xavier Hutchinson. So, no surprise that turns out when you throw it to them, you can actually win the game.
Yeah, and now the Houston Texans are now on a 4-game winning streak and are now only a game behind the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are both 8-4. So
yeah,
it's going to be an interesting race in the AFC South, and also for Brock Purdy / 49er fans, with a loss, the Rams had lost to the Carolina Panthers. And because of that, the Chicago Bears are now the number 1 seed in the NFC. It's just the facts that Bears-Packers next week is for a chance for them to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. I can't even tell you. I'm so shocked that we're even saying that. I'm even saying that.
Oh yeah, but you knew that the Eagles fans were like you were talking about this. The Eagles fans were such in shambles after not only having to watch the Cowboys beat the Chiefs on Thanksgiving, but then on Black Friday they watched the Bears beat their team in Philly. And boy, oh boy, Philly fans are not happy right now.
They're not happy right now. They're trying to be smart, smart butts and be like, how come Matthew Stafford isn't getting this type of criticism? I'm like, because Matthew Stafford had a bad game and Jalen Hurts plays like this all the time and it's garbage. So they're trying to play dumb. So I can't stand that fan base, bro.
And also, like, I don't hear Rams fans speaking out their ass as much as Eagles fans do. And I remember this from when Brock Purdy suffered the injury against the Eagles in the NFC Championship. We were talking out of their ass. So I got to watch Brock decimate them back in Philly. So that was fun to watch. So, yeah, Eagles fans, maybe like you got. And here's the thing: you had just won a Super Bowl and you want your entire. This is the talk of like sports that I understand, but also I can't get behind is like wanting guys fired even though your year's going identical. But it's like we expect to perform at a high level. These guys should be fired for not doing their job. I'm like, your record is still 8-4. You're still in contention for the number 1 seed. Like I don't know where we're getting this from.
It's because Eagles fans are bad people. That's why.
It's not even that. I feel like in general, it's like you could still have a pretty good year, but because you're not living up to certain people's expectations, they still want you fired. It's something in sports that I just don't get. And this also goes to Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is doing just as fine as a quarterback. Like I'm not saying I don't know if I put him in top 5, but I certainly would make an argument for top 10. People are acting like Brock Purdy is the worst quarterback in the league. And like it doesn't matter what he does, people are still gonna hate him for it. It's like, what do you want him to do? Like he could probably put up like 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, and you still find a way to hate on him because what? Because the guy didn't go to. I tweeted this. The reason people still hate on him, even though he's doing these numbers, because he didn't go to a big school like Alabama, Ohio State, or Georgia.
No, that's exactly why. And the Eagles fans are bad people. I'm just playing around. I know y'all are not bad people. I'm projecting. I don't like the guys.
I mean, to be fair, you had to deal with them all week until you guys faced off in the field last Sunday. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah. You know what I mean. All right, guys. We are finally going to talk about the game on Saturday. The football team won 20-13 over Oklahoma State. The only thing that I really have to say about this game is I am relieved. I don't think we were ever in danger of losing this game, but it was not fun to watch.
Yeah, this was a pretty lobotomous football game to watch. I mean, this one is just like you just had to go in and win. Honestly, like it was ugly. It was not how a lot of us expected the game to go. But I mean, I am happy that we did get the win. It was like, yeah, it was never in doubt. It never felt like Oklahoma State was gonna really get up on us, to tie or take the lead. But man, things got way too things got too close for comfort. And one thing I tweeted, and I am so annoyed is how in the world do we continue on to whenever we force a punt? We always happen to have 5 or 6 guys around within 1 yard of the football, and it continues to bounce off of us, and we turn it over on special teams because of that. And this is the 3rd time this year it's happened. It's happened against Iowa. Xavier Townsend, which should have been called a kick catch interference, by the way. I still will rule bullshit. And then against BYU, BYU had that scouted because they know they were notorious for making mistakes in those type of plays. So they feasted on us in that. And then this game, it was the 3rd time this year, so it was kind of ridiculous. It's how we haven't figured this out. Is it because we're blocking too aggressively? Or I don't know what's going on, but this has to be addressed in the offseason because it's getting tiring having to watch us force a punt and then we give the ball right back to him because the football keeps bouncing off one of our guys.
Yeah, it makes no sense, dude. Yeah, something that needs to be addressed. And also, luckily, the defense played well, and Caleb Bacon had 3 sacks in the game. Abu and Carson Hansen ran well. Still having the case of the drops with the receivers, but overall, I'll take it. I think though we are in a good spot with the program. The fact that people aren't celebrating we're celebrating 8-4, but it's sort of like everybody's feeling lackluster about 8-4, but that's when you know when your program is in a good spot. When people are sort of upset about going 8-4 or disappointed with going 8-4, the program is going in the right direction to where we're holding this program to a higher standard instead of like a decade before about being excited about going 6-6.
Yeah, and I think this is a testament to the job that Matt Campbell has done at Iowa State in his tenure, and yeah, just the standard he has raised. And I mean, most, if not all, the majority of our 8+ win seasons have been under Matt Campbell. So he's done a great job at raising the standard, and we expect and also it's a double-edged sword. I mean, the way you talk about, being disappointed 8-4. Yeah, I was a little disappointed with it, projecting comparing to where we were in preseason, what we had expected for preseason, going to Arlington and maybe making a college football playoffs. But Still went 8-4. You had that skid in the middle of the season where you lost 4 straight. Things were not going well, and the team could have easily folded. We could have easily
For sure.
had to have needed to win at Oklahoma State to even get bowl eligibility, but
Right.
they were able to rally and still get what I think is one of the better years for Iowa State. If you look at the whole scope, still going 8-4 and a chance at 9 wins, which has been like not too commonly achieved, but I think it would only be like the third time that Iowa State has gotten 9+ wins, or 4 times if they were to win the bowl game. And I mean, speaking of the bowl game, we got to talk about these projections because I am tired of seeing the projections of us traveling to the Liberty Bowl to have to play Memphis. Like, what is up with us always having to play Memphis whenever we're projected to go to the Liberty Bowl?
I don't know, man. Memphis loves Iowa State fans being down there, even though we don't want to be there. So they gotta take that into account because Jamie has been vouching for us to go to Arizona. I wouldn't even mind going to the Texas Bowl to play Texas, because the way Texas fans are acting, if they don't make the playoff, like they've been, if you've been looking on Twitter all day or this whole entire weekend, they're basically trying to say that this is going to be my rant real quick, but Texas fans have been complaining all week. Oh, we're getting punished for scheduling Ohio State, and then everybody else keeps saying, no, you're getting punished for losing to a 4-8 Florida team that you should have beat. Like, it's not hard. We have 3 top 10 wins. Okay, but if you would have beaten Florida, you wouldn't be in this position. You would have already been in the playoff. Like, the fact that you think that the college football war is going to stop for you because you're Texas is absolutely ludicrous.
Okay, yeah. I mean, to back off of that, I mean, it's not just them. Even Steve Sarkisian, he was basically employing the boy who cried wolf, like in the press conference, like, you know, like the post game interview after the Texas A&M. Like, he had just beaten Texas A&M, right? And he even talked like one of the first he tells about, like, we just got a great win. We should be in the playoff. Here, yeah, you mentioned not only did Texas lose to Florida in Gainesville, they went to overtime with Mississippi State and Kentucky.
Right.
Mind you, Kentucky just got their asses handed to them by Louisville and got shut out. And then Mississippi State's 5-7. How did you have to go to overtime to beat both of those teams? And the whole like, oh yeah, we're never gonna if we're never gonna schedule these like not out of conference like Power 5 schools. What we're gonna do is we put it in the playoffs. Okay. You want to know why you play those? You play those to get a good win. If you win those, that's a great win for you. If you lose, that's not the end of the world, but that means you have to take care of business in your conference play, and you obviously didn't do that. And when we go back to the Georgia loss, you got dog walked, no pun intended, by the Bulldogs.
Again.
Like, yeah. Like, I don't even want to hear, like, Texas, like, here's the thing. You went for the money for the SEC, whatever. But you could have easily just, like, and I'll say this too, Texas could have easily farmed the Big 12 to go to the playoffs. They could have farmed this league. They really could have. But no, you went for the money, and because, like, they want to bend back or whatever, yeah, and you have to bring Oklahoma with you. And Oklahoma is going to go to the playoffs, even though, Texas, you beat Oklahoma. Ain't that poetic for you?
That is very poetic. You're one of your biggest rivals. Well, 2 of your biggest rivals are going to make the playoff, and you weren't going to make it, and you beat the both of them. That's very, very poetic.
And you know what would have been funny? If they had lost to Texas A&M, they would have had the same record as Iowa State. That would have been the most beautiful thing. And, like, continue on this playoff run, and, like, What do we do? Why are we shafting BYU? Like, why is the playoff committee shafting BYU in favor of these 2 lost teams? Like, come on. BYU, they are okay. And this is like, before you come and be, they're Big 12 to try to troll me. This isn't your average Big 12 program. This is a nationally recognized BYU team. They're a nationally recognized program. They have fans all over the country. Their only loss was to a top 5 Texas Tech squad. Now, they're going to get a chance to rectify it in some way, shape, or form here when they go to Arlington to take on Texas Tech in the Big 12 title game. But, like, we're really doing this whole, like, committee, like, this resume thing with Miami, Notre Dame, Alabama, and like who else? Vanderbilt, I think. Like, oh my god, they're just it's obvious. They just want to keep only one team in the Big 12 in the playoff. They're going to just shaft them. And the fact that Utah got dropped and got replaced by Miami for their performance against Kansas State, that thing is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing?
It's an absolute joke, man. It's ridiculous. But one thing we got to talk about is this coaching carousel. And Cody, this is how I truly feel about this coaching carousel.
Yeah.
It's an absolute joke.
Oh god.
An absolute joke.
Oh my god. Like, I mean, we've talked about what was it, like James Franklin going to Virginia Tech? That was the first like big carousel things. I think we mentioned it on the preview for Oklahoma State, that Eric Morris out of North Texas is going to Oklahoma State. And now we have a couple more changes, and I think it's going to start with Florida. Summerall out of Tulane going to your Florida Gators. What are your thoughts about hiring Joe Summerall from the Green Wave?
Yeah, I think John Summerall going to Florida, I really, really like that hire. I know there's some Florida fans who are like, well, I don't know if we want to get another Group of Five guy. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we can really be like choosy, because this isn't 2008 anymore. Florida is not a desired program where people want to go to, because Florida, ever since 2009, ever since Tebow left, the last 16 years have been absolute mediocrity. So I don't know if to me, I'm saying this as a Florida fan as well. It's just like, I don't know. Like, I understand Florida fans have the high expectations of being good, of being national champ. Like, but like, we also have to be patient too, because if we're just gonna be like this every single time, we're never gonna be good ever again. Like, I know like Florida fans can be impatient, and I understand that, but like, you gotta give it time to build. But this also just goes back to me to the premise of them never should have never ever. They probably should have never ever fired Dan Mullen. So that's what it goes back to.
Yep. And I mean, yeah, the carousel is going crazy. I mean, we saw, like, I think earlier, like, we just got the latest one. Former Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald is heading to East Lansing to take over the Michigan State job after Jonathan Smith has been fired. We also have seen that a former Iowa State coordinator, Alex Golesh, out of South Florida, is destined to be the next head coach at the university at Auburn. So the Iowa State to Auburn pipeline continues in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, he's getting paid more than Campbell is, which is funny. I was like, man, all his former guys are getting paid more than him. He's still at Iowa State, so hey,
yeah,
good for Golesh, man. I'm happy.
And I mean that Campbell coaching tree is growing ever so like bigger in terms of resume, because obviously Golesh was pretty good coordinator. Like, I saw the graphic that put, what was it? Golesh had like 3 quarterbacks and included Brock Purdy as like one of them, and I kind of laughed at him. Like, and this also feels like there's no way they're trying to claim Alex Golesh coach Brock Purdy, but I'm like, it's kind of true though, because he was there in 2018 and 2019 when Brock Purdy first made his name known around Ames, Iowa. So yeah.
Well, it's just like how when you say that Alex Golesh is a Matt Campbell guy, and the Tennessee fans will tell you, no, he's a Josh Heupel guy. I'm like, but he wouldn't have found out. But I
don't think Tennessee would have found out about him without being at Iowa State.
Exactly. My point exactly.
Yeah. And then we talked about Memphis a little bit. They're hiring. Memphis is Ryan Silverfield is expected to be named the next head coach at the University of Arkansas. And then we also have Coastal Carolina has fired head coach Tim Beck after a disappointing year, after they got absolutely blown out by James Madison, who is gunning for a group of 5 or group of 6 playoff spot, which is not possible because of the ACC championship being number 18th ranked Virginia versus 7-5 Duke. You know what? Just for the chaos, I kind of want Duke to win that, just for the chaos.
We need Duke to win the ACC. Duke,
Yep. Please do.
Do it for the Big 12, please.
Yep. And then this is the big one that has got everybody going crazy. Lane Kiffin is expected to leave Ole Miss and be the next head coach for the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, I believe the numbers were up for 7 years, over $12 million a year, something like that.
Uh-huh. And you want to guess like the extra caveat they threw in?
What's that?
He's not going to be coaching Ole Miss during the college football playoffs.
Well, yeah, I believe signing day is National Signing Day is this week. So
yeah,
they already have 12 kids committed in the class for LSU for 2026. So
yeah. But this is crazy. The fact he's not even going to coach Ole Miss through the playoffs. I would have thought they would do that because that's what they're doing. Eric Morris is doing at least for the postseason at North Texas. So I'm surprised.
Yeah, at a place like LSU, they probably if they're paying you all that money, they're probably just gonna want you to be at LSU
as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. If they're paying you $12 million a year, then they're like, yeah, bro, you gotta go. We're paying you all this money to be here, so you can't bye. Say bye.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the coaching carousel sort of things, and yeah, I think there's nowhere further we can really go with the coaching carousel other than topping it with Lane Kiffin going to LSU and leaving Ole Miss after the Egg Bowl, and that whole thing got drawn out. But real quick, a few minutes ago, this just got put out by the volleyball team. So Iowa State volleyball will be heading to Minneapolis to take on the St. Thomas Tommies Friday, December 5th in the first round of the NCAA tournament, and I'm assuming that Iowa State is around a 5 or 6 seed. So it's not too bad of a drive for Iowa State volleyball fans to go up to Minneapolis. It's only 3 hours from here. Hopefully the roadway's been cleared up. But yeah, this has been a really good year for the volleyball team. Unfortunately, they weren't able to go undefeated at home as they lost their 2 last matches to the Kansas schools. But still, what a great year for the volleyball team. And I'm hoping that this means that the Iowa State volleyball team can potentially go on a deep run because I like this team.
We are going to have to see what happens. But
yeah,
lastly, we are going to take a look across the Big 12 and the national slate. We had some fun matchup over Black Friday and Thanksgiving weekend on the Saturday slate. So we're going to take a look at that. Cody, if you want to share your screen, sure. Let's break down those matchups.
Yep. Let's go. Yep. Okay, so yeah, don't mind. I was just checking out the box score for the women's team because you mentioned it. We got Iowa. I also have to take on Northern Illinois first to take care of business first before we look ahead to the Hawkeyes. But yeah, that's going to be a fun 2 days at Hilton Coliseum, like it should be. That should be a fun 2 days. Okay, I think I don't know what's going on, but we mentioned Maction a little bit, but yeah, Black Friday, Indiana walks into West Lafayette. It doesn't fall to the curse that be cursed Ohio State. They just stomp out the Purdue Boilermakers, and they no doubtedly lock their spot into the Big Ten title game. Yeah, just another dominant showing from the Indiana Hoosiers, and there's no doubt if Ohio State wasn't existing in the college football world, Indiana would be the pure number 1 team.
Definitely dominate 56-3, and as they go, we're gonna have a 1-2 matchup in the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis. Ohio State versus Indiana. We're definitely gonna go more into that matchup on Thursday as we break down conference championship week.
Yep, and then the Lone Star State Showdown. Texas, we mentioned them earlier. They get the win over Texas A&M, and Texas continues to be a thorn in the side of the A&M Aggies as this loss for Texas A&M essentially booted them out of the SEC championship game, but they're still going to be at the playoffs of that large. I don't expect them to drop further than they should be hosting a home game. Realistically, I don't see this being a reason for them to drop 6 spots.
Yeah, they won't drop much. So I expect them to still be in the playoff, but they'll still probably still be like 5 or 6, something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean they were shooting for the playoff. Like I wouldn't be surprised. Like yeah, I would expect them to host a home game. And man, that a home game in College Station for the playoffs, that thing is going to be electric. I'll be honest.
Oh, for sure. I could totally see a rematch with like Notre Dame or somebody. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Okay. So real quick, if you were a team that was in position for in the college football playoffs, would you rather get the first round bye or host the game on campus?
I would rather get a first round bye. To me, because I know there's in some fan bases, it'd be like, oh, like, we want a home game, but I think you also got to think about it in the sense that it's a long season, and you want your players to be rested at like the max level. So I think
Yeah.
getting a first round bye would help, even though yes, it is at a neutral site. But
Yeah.
I do think in the coming years, I do think that they should think about putting the quarterfinals in at home. I
Yeah,
think.
and then you do like the what they did with the 14 playoff, and you rotate which two
Hmm.
your 6 games at the semifinals. That would be actually pretty. That would have been really cool. Is you get those first 2 rounds on campus. Imagine New Year's, like for New Year's, you get to like for New Year's that weekend, you get college football on your home campus.
Yep, and that's my exact thing, bro. You have New Year's on campus, and then you go out and celebrate if you win. I mean,
Yep.
still go celebrate if you lose, but still,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. Yep. So continuing on Black Friday, we had number 4 Georgia surviving a Hail Mary effort against the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I think this more, yeah, Georgia Tech was essentially knocked out. Like they were fighting to beat. I mean, they were right there, honestly. Georgia Tech were right.
Yeah.
They were competitive with Georgia, so I got to give credit to the Haynes King of the Jackets. But Georgia, they finished the year 11-1, and they're going to be one of the 2 teams that are going to be playing in the SEC championship.
Yep.
One team that had hopes to do so were the we mentioned Ole Miss. They win the Egg Bowl 38-19. The fun part about this one is we essentially had a brawl during the Egg Bowl, and I called it Friday afternoon SmackDown at the Egg Bowl.
I love it. I saw that. I was like Friday afternoon SmackDown. Yes, sir.
I mean that the Egg Bowl turned into the Egg Brawl, realistically, if you want to call it that.
Basically, yeah, basically.
Uh huh. And then the Utah Utes, they finished the year with 10 wins in the regular season, finished 7-2 in conference as the number 13th ranked Utes. Defeat Kansas 31-21. This game was really tight until a couple of turnovers by Jalen Daniels late. Utah was able to capitalize and pull away with a 10-point victory. But man, if you're Kansas, you have to be just disappointed because you had expectations of going bowling again, but you just were not able to do it. And I mean, I think you're conflicted. You're a conflicted Kansas fan when it comes to the career of Jalen Daniels as a whole, because it's like, yes, he got you like to an like. I think for Kansas fans, it was time to have something new.
Yeah, they signed for something new. Going with I think it was Cole Ballard. I think as their quarterback of the future, so he's gonna be taking over next year.
Mhm.
Um,
And yeah, then one thing somebody mentioned was Jalen Daniels has only beaten 3 bowl eligible teams during his time, like as a starter. You
yeah,
want to guess when they were?
unfortunately.
Yep.
Iowa State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of them.
Daggone.
Yeah, no, it was literally that 3-week stretch where they had beaten the top 3 in the Big 12 last season. That was all of the wins he got against bowl eligible teams as a starter.
Iowa State, Colorado, and BYU.
Yeah, I still don't understand. Jalen Daniels turned into the best quarterback in the country for that 3-week period, and he just fell off from the face of the earth. I'm like, are you serious? Bro chose that time,
Yeah.
only that time, to be the best quarterback in the country. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it is absolutely insane, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, Kansas, they're much better than they were 10 years ago. But I wonder, I'm curious to see how Kansas is gonna how they're gonna feel about Lance Leipold, because yeah, he's brought them to newer heights. He's brought them the expectations of going to bowl games. But yeah, this is another 5-7 year, another disappointing year for the Jayhawks. And I mean, do you consider like warming up Lance Leipold's seat a bit if he doesn't like start turning things around and get back to a
I
bowl game?
probably would say yes, because the fact that you went 9-4 with him, you had a 9-win season, and then you had that amazing
I feel like
what
wait,
was that?
that
The
nine
Liberty
wins.
Bowl,
Yeah,
the Liberty Bowl against Arkansas when they were six and
yep,
six.
yeah. And I think that was the Jason Bean year, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So
it
that
was.
was it wasn't even with Jalen Daniels. That was with Jason Bean. So I don't know if that's more indicative of Jason Bean or whoever, but yeah. We stayed in the Big 12. We head to the Territorial Cup or the Duel in the Desert, and the Arizona Wildcats get a 9-win season. Brett Brennan has done a great job. In the second year with the Wildcats, they won 23-7 and they reclaimed the Territorial Cup.
Yes, I believe this is their 7th win in the last 10 games in that game. So yes, they bring the Territorial Cup back to Tucson as they look to go and win a 10-win. Look to have finish this off with a 10th win, and it looks like they could see themselves in a Holiday Bowl.
Okay. Oh man, this game had me conflicted, but I was actually laughing by the end of this game. The Heroes game between two of Iowa State's two teams that Iowa State fans like vehemently hate. The Iowa Hawkeyes and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I mean, whichever way this game went, it would have been a successful hate watch. But man, it was so funny watching Nebraska just slowly die on the inside during this game.
Iowa, for the 3rd time this year, scored 40 points, and they finished the season at 8-4. So they look to improve and get their 9th win of the season. But a big win for Iowa.
Nebraska.
Nebraska.
You want to talk about getting owned in recent years? Nebraska has lost 10 of the last 11 to the Iowa Hawkeyes.
That is horrible.
I mean, we had our streak against them where we only won 1 out of 8, but we've turned it around. We've won 3 of the last 4. At least we're beating Iowa, not you, Nebraska.
Horrible, bro.
Like, come on. How are you going to let them score 40 on you?
Embarrassing.
I'm more impressed that you gave a 40 to Iowa. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? And
come on, man.
Yeah, I know. And what's funny about this is I know some Iowa fans are going to be like, 8-4 Iowa. We were right there, man. We were like one of the best 8-4 teams. I'm like, yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, I do respect them. They were competitive, but unfortunately, you just didn't get it done when you needed to. And yeah,
right.
You were a few plays from being 10-2 or whatever.
But they were also a few plays away from being 6-6.
That's what makes good teams great is they're able to win those close situations. And Iowa, quite frankly, they've always been right there, but they've just never been able to crack the code on how to evolve and be a great team. So I don't know what the answer is if you're Iowa. Like, what is your answer?
Be better on offense. I mean, the thing that's holding them back is offense, dude. Like, Iowa would be a playoff team every year if they had a competent offense.
Yeah.
The BS that I don't know what's holding them back. I don't know if Kirk wants to just play a certain type of thing, or if Lester truly does have all the full range of that offense. But they need to switch it up. They need to definitely spread it out more. Like, run the football, yes, but also at least try to throw it down the yard, because Gronowski has shown that he can throw the ball. It's just like you have to whoever you're recruiting to bring in that receiver, you actually sell them that you're actually going to run a modern offense. Because there's no way as a receiver, and develop them. Because there's no way if you're a wide receiver that you want to go to Iowa, because all you're going to be doing is blocking. So it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and I think, man, I mean, maybe part of that, like, too, is like, I mean, if you're also in the quarterback room, do you go to the transfer portal or do you try to develop a guy in house? And quite frankly, I think if you're Iowa, you go and get a guy out of the portal because I think that's probably the best move for them right now. Because I haven't seen a guy in their quarterback room that looks any sort of promising. And I mean, I just saw Jackson Stratton is entering the transfer portal. So yeah, you lose another guy you had in your quarterback room. So I don't know, but I mean that's for Iowa to discuss. But we're here right now. We got to discuss some more of the national slate. The Mean Green of North Texas finished the regular season 11-1 and is headed to the American Athletic Championship game.
Good win for North Texas. Although they're losing their coach, it seems like Drew Mestemaker is going to be staying put
Yeah.
in Denton.
No,
As you said,
I
he's
think
probably not
no,
going
it
to be
does sound
leaving.
yeah, it does sound like that. I mean, we mentioned Eric Morris is going to stay for the duration of like however long North
Oh, okay,
Texas'
good,
season is.
good.
I think that's what I heard, at least from what I understand, but that could change. But yeah,
Yep.
North Texas versus Tulane. That's going to be a fun one to determine the American champion and who could potentially go to the college football playoff as the one of the as the group of six representative.
Is that a Saturday game?
I think it's either it might be Friday. I don't recall.
That's what I was thinking. Usually the group of six games are on Friday. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh man, 2,191 days of pain, anger, and frustration for Ohio State. The demons have been exercised. They go into the big house and they convincingly win against their biggest rival in Michigan in the game. And Ohio State is 12-0. They are undefeated to end. They are undefeated.
Yeah, I mean it's absolutely amazing performance by this defense the entire year. Honestly, the only close game they had was Texas in Week 1, but they have just destroyed everyone in their path, and no one has really ever been close. I wouldn't even be surprised if they win by multiple scores next week against Indiana. But
Yeah.
Indiana's gonna have a challenge, but that Ohio State defense is for real, man.
You know what's great about rivalry weeks? The pettiness. I love the
Yes,
pettiness, dude. When was it? IGB like Igby intercepted Bryce Underwood. Bro was just talking like no, it was Jeremiah Smith. First, Jeremiah Smith scores a touchdown, and he just flips off the entire the
the
entire
double
Michigan
birds. Yeah, I
fan base.
love it.
That was the thing of beauty. And then the intercession when he goes to celebrate with Ohio State fans, he takes off his helmet. He's talking so much mad shit. And I'm like, yes, this is what rivalry's for. But I do got to give a credit to Ryan Day and the coaching staff because they directed their players to not plant the flag because obviously Michigan did that last year. But Ryan Day was quoted saying that we were going to win with humility, and that's exactly what they did.
Yes,
That's
that's the classic way to do it, especially with the number one team in the land. That definitely would have been a bad look to plant. I know they did it to you, but you're the number one
it's
team in
like
the land.
you let your play on the field talk. It
Right,
was funny. I
exactly.
got to see Ohio State fans just chirping like they defended the midfield M better than they did the end zone, which was like, yes, yes. God,
I
I
love that.
love a good shit talk. Um, okay, so for the big part of the Big 12, Texas Tech, no surprise, shuts out West Virginia. So yeah, I don't think there's enough to be said. Like, I think that's enough, honestly.
Yep, and then Oregon goes on the road to Seattle, survives Washington. Washington at one point did score a touchdown them again, 19-14, but Oregon pulled away and gets the 12-point win in Seattle as Oregon finishes the season 11-1 and will surely make the playoff.
Oh yeah. Oklahoma survives LSU. They will win in Norman 17-13, and they are for sure a lock for the college football playoff. As much as a lot of Big 12 fans hate it, Oklahoma is a surefire team.
Yeah, they may have probably the worst offense in the playoff, but that defense is going to keep them in a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Brett Venables for you.
Yep.
Notre Dame, They go on the road to Stanford for some after dark action, and they beat Stanford 49-20. So they're getting as many style points as possible to the committee so they can be in for sure. I know a lot of fans don't really like Notre Dame being in and whatever, and especially Miami fans. You know how they feel about Notre Dame being into the playoff and Miami potentially not. But I mean, I guess, yeah, if you're Notre Dame, yeah, they're putting up all the style points. And I guess if you want to make sure that you're in, you get the style points. And that's exactly what Notre Dame has done. So they're doing what they can to bolster up their resume as best as possible.
Yeah, they destroyed everyone on their schedule after starting 0-2. So yeah, they deserve to be in. And Georgia's opponent in the SEC championship, Alabama, escapes Jordan Hare with a fumble recovery, I believe, with 34 seconds left, as they survive Auburn 27-20 in at Jordan Hare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Alabama actually went up 17-0 early in this game. And you thought, oh boy, Alabama's going to blow Auburn out the water. But no, Auburn is able to fight back, and they actually tied the game up with about 11 and a half, a little under 12 minutes to go. But Kalen DeBoer coaches up a perfect drive in the fourth quarter. They take up about 8 minutes off the clock in the fourth quarter and ultimately get a touchdown on what was a very, very risky fourth down call at basically the goal line to get the game-winning touch. We'll go ahead and eventually game-winning touchdown. But man, if you were watching this game and you saw the officiating that went against Auburn, you were scratching your head at the least, and you were furious at the worst. If you were watching the game, especially if you're an Auburn fan, because some of those calls that went against Auburn, boy oh boy, that had people talking.
Yeah, those calls were very, very questionable. I will say that. So yeah, a little bit fishy, if you ask me.
Keep going back to the Big 12, BYU, Texas Tech's opponent in the conference Big 12 title game. UCF puts up 14 points early in the first quarter. You thought, oh boy, an upset possibly brewing, but no, BYU stomps that out. They go on a 41-7 scoring run, and they take care of Middle Florida. So yeah, there's no doubt about that one. So I'm pretty sure BYU did this to be like, okay, let's give them a lead here to make it maybe look a little competitive, and then we just kick their ass.
That's basically what happened, and BYU did that. Miami goes on the road to Acrisure and beats Pittsburgh 38-7 to keep their playoff hopes alive. Vanderbilt goes on the road to Rocky Top and beats Tennessee by 3 touchdowns, 45-24.
Hey, congratulations to Vanderbilt. They were the last team without a 10-win season, and they have gotten it for the first time in program history. So they have officially done it. They got a big landmark for them, and maybe just maybe, Vanderbilt could potentially sneak into the playoffs I mean, I don't know how they're going to fall, but yeah, even if they're not likely to make the playoffs. But what a great year for Vanderbilt.
Let's clap it up for Vanderbilt.
Okay, so I'm curious, what if Florida's big rivals is Tennessee? How did you feel watching Tennessee get their asses handed to them?
It was glorious. It was great. I do not like the Vols. There was a time where Florida won like 10-11 in a row against Tennessee.
Oh, I remember this. Wasn't this? Yeah, I remember it was like the 90s, and Tennessee had Peyton Manning, but just for some reason they couldn't win against Florida.
Yeah, he won 4 in a row, but I think this streak was started in 2005, and it went up until like 2015.
Oh yeah,
so
they won like Urban Meyer years.
Yeah, the Urban Meyer years up to Jim McElwain and all those years. So yeah.
Yep. All right, we have the battle for Los Angeles. USC. They win 29-10, so they got a 9-win season, so a pretty solid year for the Trojans. Virginia is one of the teams that's going to be playing in the ACC championship game as they take care of Virginia Tech 27-7. And the reason why Duke is also in the ACC championship game, the Calgorithm strikes again. They have struck SMU. They nearly collapsed that. They nearly choked that game away, giving up 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. But Cal with a last-minute touchdown and a missed field goal that went wide right for SMU, and Cal gets a huge win. in ACC play to end off this season, and a 7-5 year is a great year. It's the first winning season since 2019 for the Golden Bears.
And this is after a few weeks ago when they let their coach Justin Wilcox go after a abysmal loss to Stanford. So what a bounce back win for California as they finish out 7-5. Tulane blanks Charlotte as they move on to the American title game. Also, Texas, this is how you beat Kentucky. Louisville blanks Kentucky 41-0. That is how you beat an inferior team, Texas.
Yeah, this is what we were rambling about. Yeah, this is why I'm just gonna forever hate Texas. It's like you have all the oil money in the world, and you still find a way to whine and bitch about everything. So get out of here. We have I don't remember what was the name for Clemson, South Carolina. I can't remember
the battle for the Palmetto State.
Yeah, Clemson wins 20-14, and boy, South Carolina. Oh, you are shaking your head.
They let go of Shane Beamer, and now they're gonna have to start over now.
I did not see that. I did not see they let go of Shane Beamer.
Or I thought they did.
Wait, I didn't see that. You check on that, but we're gonna talk Big 12 for a little bit. Houston puts an end to a miserable season for Baylor, 31-24, and yeah, Baylor, you're keeping Dave Aranda, so I don't know about that one. Yeah, good luck. Buckle up.
Yeah. Oh, okay. My fault. I thought he got fired, but he's not. He's still there.
Okay, I'm guessing because I think injuries kind of derailed this year for South Carolina.
Yeah, injuries. Yeah, he is coming back in 2026. Okay. So my fault right there.
Okay, yeah. Kansas State finishes. They get bowl eligible by beating Colorado. So congrats, I guess.
Oh boy. I mean, this game was tied 14-14. They really, really tried their best to lose this game, but they pulled away in the fourth quarter. And I don't even know if K-State fans are actually even really happy that they're even in the bowl game. They probably prefer to just lose and go 5-7.
Oh my God. That would have been hilarious for Colorado. The two Big 12 wins to get were against the two teams that went to Ireland. I would be like, isn't.
This just proves that the Dublin curse is real, dude. Like, if you lose that game, your season goes to the dumpster, and it's so true. Your season goes to the dumpster, and you're miserable.
Yeah, I mean, for Iowa State, it was a little bit miserable, but we did a good job with that 3-game winning streak, and we're able to be 8-4. And I think you could still take away some positives this year. For K-State, I don't think you could take away any positives from this. No, not this year at all.
Well, yeah, they're fed up with their coach. They're fed up with their athletic director. Like, it's just, it is all going wrong. And
I know one of my buddies is smiling greatly at this. The downfall of K-State.
I wish I could say that I feel bad, but I don't.
Nah. Yeah, and this not just stems from your football program, your basketball program too, because I think I told you this before. So basketball, this is just a random story. I went to the K-State I went to the K-State basketball game, the whiteout, and boy, we got our ass handed to us by K-State, which I will admit that was really bad. Yeah. Give me a second.
Sorry about that. So we were Cody had some things to take care of.
Yeah. No, but yeah. In short, K-State beats our ass, and then Brandon Hodgson nearly wanted to fight us, and I was ready for the smoke. So yeah, but we'll move on.
All right.
I think there's some. Oh yeah, some other rivalry matchups. Paul Bunyan's Axe. This was fun. This was football in the snow. It's fun to watch.
Yes, and the ultimate disrespect is they played jump around after the game as Minnesota rested field, and they played jump around. I love that.
So that's 4 or 5 for the Golden Gophers over the Badgers. Penn State, they get bowl eligible, surviving Rutgers 40-36.
Yeah, Penn State finishes 6-6 after losing James Franklin with a strong finish by the interim head coach. So to get them to the bowl game.
Yep, we mentioned Duke. They 49-32 win over Wake Forest. So yeah, a 7-5 Duke is really going to play for a conference championship game. And if Duke finds a way to win the ACC championship game, it's a real possibility that we're not going to see the ACC champion in the playoffs.
Probably not. And Army is finally bowl eligible as they beat UTSA 27-24. So congrats to Army.
And James Madison, 11-1, finishes the regular season 11-1. They're going to be playing for the Sun Belt, and I think they have a case to potentially make it to the college football playoffs. And then your Florida Gators just put a stomping in the Seminoles, 40-21.
Oh, that was great. Anytime Florida State loses is a great day.
We also had Illinois beat Northwestern, NC State beat North Carolina, and then Hawaii with a really pretty good year, 27-7 over Wyoming, and they finished the year 8-4, the best finish since joining the Mountain West in 2012. So
Timmy Chang is an up-and-coming riser in the coaching ranks. Timmy Chang, a player that played at Hawaii. All right. Thank you guys for tuning into the Believe in Iowa State podcast. If you want to find us on Twitter, you can find Cody on Twitter at FullMattCampbell. You can find me on Twitter at SciTi Guy. Follow us on social media at here are 5 forms of social media plus Twitch. We're on Twitch at Believe in ISU 2025. Here is where else you can find us: Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And that is how we will close it. For Tyler Carter,
for Cody Van Salem,
this is the Believe in Iowa State podcast. Roll Clones, baby.
Go Cyclones.
Woo!
Thank you.